This here is zucchini. In today's video, we'll go over how to grow it from start to finish. So let's get started. So as you can see, these are the zucchini seeds, and I'm just gonna sow them indoors in these small pots. We just fill them with our own seed raising mix, which just contains a mixture of aged mulch, just some of our own compost, and also some potting mix that we sifted. So I'm just gonna plant these in here, sow them about maybe 1 or 2 centimeters deep, and then cover them with soil, and then maybe water them just a tad bit, because we don't like to water them that much because zucchini seeds tend to rot very easily. So when watering, just make sure not to overwater them. Zucchinis, courgettes, or summer squash, however you want to call them, are a warm weather crop, and therefore it is best to sow them in the spring or in the early summer. After about 3 or 4 weeks, the zucchini plants should be ready to plant. And when planting them, make sure to just amend the soil with some good compost, or if you don't have that, just add some fertilizers like chicken manure, blood and bone, or just basically anything you have, or even comfrey. I have a video about that, so I'll put that in the description box below and the pinned comment. But basically any other fertilizer you have, just to amend the soil, because they're quite big plants and they are heavy feeders. So just make sure to keep that in mind. With zucchinis and courgettes, we prefer starting the seedlings indoors compared to starting them directly into the ground, because it also gives us a head start, and zucchini seeds can oftentimes be quite difficult to germinate because they're very prone to rotting. So that's usually what we do, but you can also try direct sowing, but up to you, whatever works best. Also with zucchinis, make sure to plant them after your last frost date, because they can't tolerate any frost, and also they don't really like the cold temperatures. So just see that the day temperatures are at least 15 degrees Celsius or 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Also with zucchinis, try to position them in as much sunlight as possible. Minimum of 6 hours, but 8 hours or more is ideal, because that really helps them photosynthesize and the fruit production will increase. Also, when planting zucchini plants or courgettes, make sure to give them enough room, because they can become quite large plants and they need quite a bit of airflow. So we usually tend to space them about 60 centimeters apart, or about 2 feet. After about 60 days or 2 months, you should be able to harvest your first zucchinis. If you care for your plants well enough, they can keep producing zucchinis for up to 2 to 3 months. But what we like to do is every month or even 6 weeks, we like to start a new batch of zucchinis. So just if the other ones start winding down, that we have a new supply. And it's especially good when we start them like maybe in the early summer. So then they will start producing like in the autumn, so that way we have a continuous supply of zucchinis. There are also many varieties of zucchinis, but we've had mostly success with the Black Beauty variety. We've found that it's fairly productive and just pumps out a lot of fruit. What we also like doing throughout the season with our courgette or zucchini plants is we like to prune the outer leaves off when it's growing like a vine. We just prune those leaves off that have that are browning or maybe have powdery mildew. This is quite a common disease for zucchinis and they're quite susceptible to it, but for us we haven't really had a problem with this, because the only time when the powdery mildew came and affected the zucchini plants was towards the end of the season when the plants were winding down. So overall we didn't have that much problem, but if you see it forming in the early stages, just make sure to just prune those leaves off and you should be fine. Also with these zucchinis or courgettes, make sure to pick them continuously, that way the plant will continue producing. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a like and to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.